You just spent $3,000 on a trading computer. You picked the processor, you loaded it up with RAM, you researched a graphics card, you felt like a genius. And then at 9:36 in the morning, right after the market gapped up, your whole machine just shuts off. Your screens go completely black, the fans spin down, gone. You're sitting there in the dark. You're staring at your own reflection while your position runs against you and you have no way to close it. You think your platform just crashed. You think maybe it's a software bug. You think maybe NinjaTrader just hiccuped. Guess what? It didn't. Here's the truth nobody wants to tell you. The three parts that decide whether your computer survives the open are the three parts you never even thought about. They don't show up on the shiny spec sheet. The salesman never mentions them, and they're quietly sabotaging traders every single day. Let me explain, because this is the stuff that actually separates a machine that holds up at the open from one that face plants when money's on the line. There's this whole world out there of technology YouTube channels right now. Guys reviewing gaming rigs, telling you to chase the biggest processor, the most RAM, the flashiest graphics card. And you know what they almost never talk about? The power supply, the cooling, and the thermal paste. And those three boring, invisible parts are exactly what crashes you at the open. Let's start with the most ignored part inside your entire machine, the power supply. Think of your power supply like the electrical panel in your house. When you flip on one light, no problem. But what happens when you run the AC, the microwave, your clothes dryer, and the oven all at the same time on a panel that's too small? The whole thing browns out, the lights flicker, and then the breaker trips. Your computer does the exact same thing. And right when the market opens, your processor spikes to the moon, recalculating every single chart. Your graphics card is suddenly driving 4, 6, or 8 monitors that are all updating at once. Every part in that machine is screaming for power at the exact same moment. And if your power supply doesn't have the muscle to deliver clean, steady power during that spike, it will brown out. And when a power supply browns out, your computer doesn't lag, it doesn't stutter, it reboots, or it just dies on the spot. And here's the part that drives me nuts. The average trader will spend the next 3 weeks blaming the broker. He'll be on the phone with TradeStation support. He'll be reinstalling Windows, and he's out there buying more RAM he doesn't need. And the whole time, it was a super low-end, cheap power supply crammed in there by the company at the big box store where he got his computer. They jammed it in there to save $8. This is not a speed problem. Let me be crystal clear about that. This is a stability problem. A weak power supply will never show up on a benchmark score. Your machine will look fast right up until the second it isn't. So here's what you actually want. Headroom. Real margin above your peak power draw. If your system pulls 500 watts at full tilt, you don't drop in a 550 watt unit and pat yourself on the back. You want a really high quality unit rated well above your peak, so it's never running at the red line when the open hits. And quality matters every bit as much as wattage. Cheap power is dirty power. And dirty power is exactly what causes those random, unexplainable reboots that no software fix on earth will ever solve. Now here's the problem. Most traders have no clue where their machine actually stands under a real trading load. They ran a quick benchmark score once, they saw a big number, and it felt good. That number told them almost nothing. Now here is the second invisible killer of trading computers. Cooling. Here's what nobody tells you about computer benchmarks. A computer can absolutely ace a 60-second benchmark test. Crushes it. Big, beautiful benchmark number. And then 10 minutes into trading, it completely falls apart. Why? Because a quick test is a sprint. Trading is a marathon. And the open isn't exactly a 60-second event. It's a sustained load. Every platform recalculating, every scanner running, every chart redrawing for minutes and hours on end, all at once. When a processor or a graphics card gets too hot under that sustained load of trading, it does something to protect itself. It slows itself down on purpose. It's called thermal throttling. The chip literally dials back its own speed so it doesn't cook itself. So picture this. Some guy on YouTube reviewed your laptop, said it was lightning fast, and it is for 60 seconds. But you're trading the open. The first minute, you're fine. The second minute, you're fine. Minute 5, the temperature starts creeping up, and your so-called fast laptop quietly throttles itself down to a crawl. And there you are, leaning into the screen, squinting, clicking the same buy button over and over again, going, why is this thing lagging now? It was fine a minute ago. Your hands are in the air. Total betrayal. Your computer was fast when you tested it, and it turned into a Ford Festiva the moment you needed it. And that is why laptops and cheap pre-built desktops throttle the hardest. There's nowhere for the heat to go. You've got a powerful processor crammed into a slim little chassis that's the thickness of a magazine. The reviewers on YouTube love how thin it is. Your trades hate how thin it is. There's no room for real airflow, no room for a real cooler, so it overheats, it throttles, and it falls behind exactly when the market is moving fastest. And listen, I've been doing this a long time. Back in the day, you traded with one screen, a phone, and you wrote a paper ticket. Now I've got guys calling me with a $6,000 setup, 6 monitors, and the machine still chokes itself into the ground because nobody thought about where the heat goes. We've got more power than ever, and traders are still losing the race at the open. And here's a gap nobody covers. A properly built trading machine isn't about picking the biggest processor you could possibly find. It's about whether that processor can hold full speed for hours through the open, through the midday grind, and through the close without cooking itself. If you want to know exactly what to look for, the power supply, headroom, the cooling, all the stuff the spec sheet hides, I put together a free, complete guide to trading computers. Grab it in the link in the description or scan that QR code that's on your screen right now. Now the third one, and this one's sneaky because it gets you slowly, something called thermal paste. Between your processor and the cooling device that sits on top of it, there's a thin layer of something called thermal paste. Its only job is to transfer heat away from the chip and into the cooler. Think of it like oil in your car engine. When it's fresh, everything runs smooth and cool. But oil breaks down over time, and so does thermal paste. Over 3 to 4 years, that paste dries out and turns into something more like chalk. And once it dries out, it stops transferring heat properly. So your processor runs hotter, and what does a hot processor do? You already know. It throttles. And here's why this is so brutal. Nothing broke. There's no error message. There's no warning. Your once fast computer just feels sluggish. Charts feel half a second behind. The whole machine feels tired. And you can't figure out why, because on paper, nothing changed. I talk to traders all the time who are convinced they need a brand new computer when their 3-year-old machine just needs the paste redone and the dust blown out of it. They were ready to drop $4,000 to solve a problem that was hiding under the cooler the whole time. So let's tie this all together. You obsess over the processor and the RAM, but the power supply decides if you survive the open. The cooling decides if you stay fast through the open, and the thermal paste decides if you're still fast 4 years from now. Those 3 invisible parts hold your entire trading day together, and every single pre-built piece of crap computer on Earth cuts corners on those exact 3 things to hit a price point. So here's what I want you to do tonight. Grab the complete guide to trading computers I mentioned earlier so you know what a machine built to survive the open actually looks like. And if you're done guessing and you're done blaming your broker, you're done losing trades to a machine that quits when it matters, pick up the phone and call us. Tell us what you trade, tell us how many screens you run, and we'll build you a machine that holds full speed from the open to the close. The phone number is on your screen now. It's also down below in the description. You're a great trader. You shouldn't have to be a computer expert. That's our job. And do me one more favor before you go. Hit the subscribe button. I break down this kind of stuff every week. The hidden hardware that decides whether you win or lose at the open, so you never get blindsided by a frozen screen again. And if you want to see the ultimate computer built for trading, watch this video right here. Watch this one next. My name's Eddie Z. Thanks for watching. May the trend be with you.